Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.
Good day and welcome to Africa Investor Today, where we bring you all the latest African business news. I'm Zylan. We begin today's bulletin with politics and economy. Tunisian President Zain Al Abidine Ben Ali launched his campaign for re-election on Sunday, promising to expand democracy and reduce unemployment if returned to power at an October 25th poll. Ben Ali has led the North African country since 1987 and is widely expected to beat three rival candidates. Madagascar's president has named a new prime minister and fired his former premier. President André Rajoelina, who seized power in a March coup, has endorsed Tuesday's internationally brokered agreement which called for Monja Rendefo to be replaced as prime minister by a relatively unknown anthropology professor, Eugene Mangalaza. Rajoelina, who is Africa's youngest leader, has been under pressure from donors to dismiss Rendefo, who is described by analysts as a heavyweight backer of his power grab. On Saturday, Rendefo had refused to step down as prime minister, saying the power-sharing deal was invalid because it had not been signed by Rajoelina, Ravalomanana and two other former leaders. Stay with us, we'll have news on companies and markets after the break.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
In companies and markets now, Zain, Kuwait's biggest phone company, isn't worried about a lawsuit filed by South Africa's Econet Wireless Holdings Limited. Econet disputes the ownership of Zain Celtel Nigeria and said it sought arbitration measures to prohibit the unit's sale or transfer. Econet is looking to overturn a 2006 deal in which Celtel bought a 65% stake in Nigerian mobile operator V-Mobile, since renamed Zain Nigeria. Econet, which owns 5% of Zain Nigeria, says it should have been given the opportunity to buy the shares first. The operations of the world's biggest food manufacturer in Zimbabwe may be threatened. Swiss-based Nestlé lost half of their Zimbabwean supplies at the beginning of the year, which they said led them to sourcing milk from a farm owned by Grace Mugabe, the wife of President Robert Mugabe. Less than a fortnight ago, they advised that they were now exiting a supply arrangement with the farm in question last week. Nestlé then had their bank accounts in the country frozen by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe last week. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
To banking and finance news we move now. Nigeria's United Bank of Africa opened its doors for business last week, promising its clients fresh approach to service delivery. The bank has cast its eyes on the Eastern African market, with Nairobi as its nerve center. It has been stealthily carrying out exploration in the Kenyan financial market since December. But its path was cleared on Tuesday after Central Bank of Kenya gazetted it as Kenya's 46th bank, with 2 branches open in industrial area and Westlands, and plans to open a 3rd branch in Upper Hill already in place. The Central Bank of Nigeria may be considering the establishment of regional or specialized banks in the aftermath of the cleansing of the banking sector. Lamido Sanusi, the CBN governor, said though there may be the possibility of more banks in the country, the scenario has been that the very big banks as currently exist tend not to serve small businesses. There have been expressions of interest from South African and British banks in some of the banks that failed to pass the stress audit recently conducted by the CBN. For the second year running, Equity Bank has been named Microfinance Bank of the Year in Africa during the annual African Bankers Award ceremony held in Istanbul, Turkey. The bank won the award in a category contested by Akion, Nigeria, Blue Financial Services of South Africa, and UBA, Nigeria. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
Infrastructure news now. Mozambique is planning an $11 billion rail link project to connect all provinces of the southern African nation. The project was approved by the Council of Ministers in May, and the link, covering 6,392 kilometers, might be operational in 14 years. Mozambique currently has unconnected rail links in the central, northern and southern provinces. Stakeholders in the maritime industry have been asked to support the recently enacted Merchant Shipping Act 2009 to boost trade in Kenya. Transport Minister Chirao Al-Makwera said the act will spur economic growth, given that 95% of international trade is maritime-based. The new law will, among other things, reduce the cost of maritime transport and ease business in Kenya's shipping industry and the region in general, making the country's exports more competitive in foreign markets and imports more affordable to the common people. African governments need to rapidly introduce incentives for private sector investment in renewable energy to boost electronification and fight climate change. Mark Hankins, a consultant for the International Rivers and the West Bank, said African and other less developed nations would request 4.4 trillion rand to boost renewable energy in Copenhagen in December, where the world's governments would discuss how to combat climate change. And with that, we bring you to the end of today's bulletin. Do log on to our website at africa-investor.com for more news. Bye for now.
Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.